you tell me a bit about the tin hat?
So they're about 100 and how old are they?
100, nearly 100 years.
Nearly 100 years old. So they're trains that they're essentially a bus on wheels, really, and they were used in the early days, and it's sort of really old technology, but they're still good and they still go really well.
And so they run from the 1920s to the 1980s?
Oh, roughly, yeah. A bit before my time, of course.
And so how did you restore the train?
So there's a group of volunteers out at Cowra were the ones that originally started doing all the work on them and repaired them, so and got them up and running. Of course, these days Cowra line is closed, and so they drift around the state in various places. So at the moment they're being based at Werris Creek. After a couple of weeks they'll go to Orange, and they'll be at Orange for a little while, then they'll go through to Lithgow, and they'll be based out of Lithgow and run out of Lithgow for a period of time.
Okay, so they travel all over New South Wales?
Pretty much, yeah. And then in June, I think the June long weekend, they're going to be down in Sydney for the Great Steam Festival out of Sydney Station, and they'll be running around down there as well. And then hopefully we'll also be able to take them to Richmond later on in the year as well. So yeah, they do a lot of travelling, lots of kilometres, and touch wood, they're very faithful and they just keep going.
So how fast do they go?
80 kilometres an hour is the speed limit we're restricted to on these.
Okay.
They will do a little bit more, but we try to look after them because you want to make sure they maintain, we can keep them going basically. It was a long period of time though. They were out of service for a long time, and then they had to be recommissioned and they had to be fully certified again by the regulator, and of course we had to put in a modern day radio communication system in, which cost over $60,000 each. So they're a very, very expensive bit of equipment, but they can help keep us safe. Armadale and Walker Road, we're going backwards and forwards, and we're doing that, and then we're doing local trips as well. Yeah.
So you're doing both a dinner
train tonight at Walker Road, and then tomorrow we'll do some local trips for people to be able to come along and enjoy the ride.
And can you tell me a bit about the Lachlan Valley Railway?
So the Lachlan Valley Railway has been around for many years now. It was originally based, it started at the Lachlan Village at Falls, and then after a period of time they took over the Loco Depot at Cowra, and so they were based out of the Cowra Loco Depot for many, many years. In fact, it's still got a home base there. There's still locomotives there. There's a working museum there. But since the railway line got closed, parts of the museum equipment have been able to be moved out of there, and we're using them in different areas around the state. So currently we've got a steam engine at Cowra. We've got one at Cowra. We've also got one at Goulburn, in the Goulburn Museum there, which is being rebuilt. And we've also got a 59 class steam locomotive up at Rothbury, which is also being rebuilt and getting fixed. So both of those engines will be in steam by the end of the year and being able to participate in regular trips around the state. Look, I think there's a certain part of a nostalgia around old-fashioned trains. Everybody likes to see a working heritage object work, from cars to trains, and I think there's a certain fascination with it, and it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. Train travel, particularly heritage train travel, sort of really comes alive when people enjoy themselves on a trip like this. And tonight you'll see lots of faces lit up like Christmas trees, basically, having a great time, and that's what it's all about. That's why we do this stuff, and that's why people like me volunteer to come along and bring smiles to the faces of all those people.